Hello, guys. This is Heber Valenzuela, and I am with the Arizona Soccer Association, joining you guys today at BS Podcast.
Hola amigos de Pancho Villa's Army, aquí el Sargento back with a special Villa podcast episode. We have a guest that we want to talk to you about that is doing some amazing things, and we want to get to know him, find out what he's involved in, and more than anything, we're all about supporting our fellow members. So before we go there, I want to introduce my co-host, like always, el Coronel by my side. Coronel, ¿cómo estás?
Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Good to see you guys again on this short episode, kind of midweek via podcast. Ivan wouldn't be able to join us today. He's got to work. He's got to make the big bucks to buy that AC because as you listen to the last podcast, he doesn't have any AC, and apparently it's hot in LA. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. But
90 degrees, and then hell is freezing over there. I don't know what's
Whoa.
going on.
everything. But let's jump right to this.
Yeah, man, let's jump right
Awesome.
to it. So we do have a guest here. He's actually lives in Arizona with us, so he definitely knows that 90 degrees is beautiful weather for us. So I
Oh,
want to give
yeah.
a warm introduction, a warm Villa's introduction to Heber Valenzuela. Heber, ¿cómo estás?
Muy bien, amigos. I'm happy to be here with you guys. This is an honor to be part of this podcast today. We're going to be talking about some football, a beautiful game. We'll be talking about some cool stuff, and just happy to be here with you guys.
Yeah, man, that's all we do, right? Is talk about our passion for football and la selección and everything around football.
Mhm.
We usually start off a little. Tell us a little bit about yourself. So introduce yourself to our Villa's members. Tell us about where you were born, raised, just as much as you want to share with us.
Hazy, if I can cut you off before that, I just kind of want to give a little short introduction for a lot of people who don't know.
Yeah.
I know, Ever, I don't know if you haven't really had a chance to travel outside of AZ, or if you have traveled, you've actually traveled because you're doing work, you're working actually. But
Yeah.
Ever's been a long time supporter of Via's Army. He's always been there helping us out. Every time we need anything, he's always been the guy, one of the main guys in the Hispanic community, actually in the soccer community here in Arizona. For those of you who don't know, and which is awesome. And I think I'm really excited that we're doing this podcast and we're going to talk a little bit more in detail what this is about. So welcome, Ever, and exactly like what Z was talking about. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you. Yeah, Coronel, you did amazing, man. I don't think anybody can do a better intro than you. But that was beautiful. You almost had me in tears. But just like Coronel said, I'm familiar with Pancho Villa's Army. I'm familiar in the part that I've had the blessing and the honor to interact with a lot of you guys here, especially here in Phoenix. And it's been great. It's been fun. A little bit about me. I was born and raised in Durango, Mexico. I wanted to be a soccer player. I think soccer has done great things for my life. One, has kept me away from making bad decisions in my life. It has kept me busy, which is tough when you're growing in a third world country. And I think a lot of us can relate to it because either we have lived it ourselves or we have a family member that has been born and raised in a country where it's tough, right? It's tough financially. So soccer does wonderful things for people's lives, and it has touched me. It has done amazing work for me and the way that I shaped up to be as a human being. I wanted to be a pro player. From nobody in my family was a soccer fan, or nobody cared much about soccer. But I had an uncle, and I used to go see my uncle on Sundays, and he was always watching TV. He was always watching La Liga Mexicana with a cup of menudo and a Corona next to him.
On the Sunday, trying to cure la
Exacto.
cruda,
La
huh?
cruda.
On the Sunday trade, exacto, and he used to be a goalie on a local league there in Durango, and so he was my hero because I got to see the first Selección Mexicana game with him. I remember I have memories of that 1994 World Cup in the United States, and when Mexico was playing Bulgaria, and I'm over there, having some menudo and watching my tío
Mhm.
get all excited about it. So that's where my love for soccer was born.
Mm-hmm.
We immigrated to Mexico City. My mother remarried at Chilango, so we went to Mexico City. Pasa. And so I'm the Durango kid, norteño. You know how people pick on us and pick on each other. Our culture is amazing. We come with memes and nicknames, right? El gordo, el flaco,
Oh
el,
yeah,
el,
oh yeah.
el ranchero,
El
el
sapo,
pueblo.
El
Yeah,
sapo, yeah.
ándale. So I got all those nicknames, man. I got them all just from being from Durango, being a todo flaco kid. But it was fun. There I tried out for America. Never made it. Out of a few tryouts, they wanted me to pay, and so soccer, being a business and all. I land a tryout with Necaxa. After 5 tryouts, they kept telling me, come back in 3 months, come back in 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
I finally made it, and it was fun because I got to meet Carlos Hermosillo. This was in 1996, 97, 98, Los Juveniles, and then being there, after a while, I get a chance to play with Truenos de Cuautitlán, which at that time was the third division Liga Mexicana.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of it was youth. A lot of it was kids going to school, and I guess you can call it kind of like the high school league in between pro soccer teams. We will play against. We will go to Hidalgo and play Cruz Azul. We will travel around and play other teams, and so that was fun. But I was a bench warmer, man. I was a bench warmer. Even though I was part of the team, other kids got the palanca, or we will get those Brazilian, Argentinian kids that will get a chance just because they know they're good, and they were good. And anyway, we immigrate to the United States. I don't go any far on this.
Mm-hmm.
I practically sat the bench. So we come to the United States. La hambre está fuerte, la hambre está difícil. So we come here, and our goal is just to work. Our goal is just to work and go back to Durango.
Mm-hmm.
My dad, nobody in my family went to college, so my dad was like, "Oh, we're just gonna work and get a labor job, save some money, go back."
Mm-hmm.
And my brother convinced my dad to let me go to high school. So I went to high school, played soccer, kicked some butt there.
Nice.
I got a scholarship to play college, and after playing at Phoenix College for 1 year, I opted to play for Grand Canyon. I played at Grand Canyon for another year.
Mm-hmm.
So but I was already a dad. At that
Mm-hmm.
time, I was already a dad. I was working at DirecTV, putting satellites and installing satellites and all that, installing cable, and having a full schedule for college.
Mm-hmm.
And being a dad and being an illegal too. Being an illegal, I didn't have my papers, so I had to prioritize and just kind of left soccer aside.
No, but still, I mean, but still, the journey, your journey to go from Durango to Mexico, and then to try out for a couple teams out there. Even though you say you're a bench player, even though you say you're a bench player, I think that's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, not many people can say they were that far, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and you're building. It builds character. It builds character, and you're constantly fighting. And you come over here, and pretty much the same thing. And this, I mean, I don't want to get too side off. I don't want to get off track too much, but that just kind of goes to show where the opportunities when you're here in the U.S. that you might not have in Mexico. You go to college. I mean, you go to high school. You have a chance to get some grants or even a scholarship, or even a chance to go to college. And obviously, you want to play. Everybody wants to be a professional, right?
Yeah.
But if that doesn't happen, you can get the education. But still, the fact, that you were able to in that short amount of time, because you're still young, and
Thank you, man.
your youth, I mean, you've accomplished so much in that short amount of time. And even after that, you've accomplished so much more. So I'm really excited to hear about that.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, no, it was. Thank you, brother. I think you hit the nail right there on the head. Soccer just gives so much to people's lives, and sometimes it doesn't have to be the path of playing 5, 10, 15, 20 years of professional soccer. God knows how long you're gonna last. Because you sometimes might enter late. Sometimes you might have an injury. You never know how the professional soccer player or the athlete side of things will take you. But everything else that comes with the sport, building character, working as a team, being competitive, and just making you a strong person carries you far. And I think that's what soccer did for me, because being in legal, having my kids, I did all kinds of jobs. I worked at Pizza Hut, I worked at the Harkins Theaters, I worked at construction, I worked at landscaping for about a year and a half. And I learned to be tough. I learned to provide for my family, no matter what job it was, no matter if I didn't have a document, I had to provide for it. So being involved in soccer gave me another chance. Now in the professional soccer club side of things, and the business of soccer, and you know about that one, Arizona United. That's how you and I met. That's how I met you guys. And I used to pray, hey, give me a chance on doing what I love to do. And that chance came in when they were looking for a Hispanic marketer. I went and applied, and it was mainly sales. I used to call you guys 8 times a week. You guys hated my calls because I was trying to sell you tickets to the Arizona United. Yeah, that was. Yeah,
that's where it starts, though, man. That's where it starts, though, right? You got to start it with those type of entry level jobs, or those jobs that get your foot in the door, and then people see that you have the hunger, the desire, and I think what probably I've seen is your ability to network, right? Your ability to make those connections with people, and go outside of what typically someone would just call just call a list. You not only called the list, but you got to build that relationship, and I imagine that's where it all started, man. So that's good. I'm glad to hear that, man.
For a lot of the followers who don't know who Arizona United is, Arizona United was a soccer league, was a soccer team in the USL. They have since rebranded, and now they are the Phoenix Rising. But again, you were there from the ground up, and I remember, I completely remember, and there were struggles here. There were struggles.
Oh yeah.
And there were victories. But you stuck through it, through the thick of it, and that's just it's a testament of the type of person you are. And I think that hats off to you, because again, a lot of people are just, I'm done. But even though you kept doing that, you probably, I don't know, maybe you had another job somewhere else or whatever, but you just you just kept at it, man. You kept at it. So
thank you, man.
And so Arizona United rebrands, they turn into Phoenix Rising. And you're still, your career path starts to kind of take some steps up. So
yeah, man.
Yeah, I saw it all. I experienced it all. I experienced it from being an idea, from being a project, and just like you said, those were tough times. I was selling a ticket to an exhibition, to an event, to a festival that nobody really cared for. There wasn't much value to see, really, and or to entertain. And believe most of it, because I think many people have come and tried, and they have ended up being a sham, or being just another project that doesn't come true. And so there was a lot of doubt, but we went through it. I used to tell my family, because I stayed around for 6 years, and my family will be like, okay, so we're doing one more year. Yeah. And I used to say, I'm just stubborn. I want this to go. I just want this to happen. I want this. I think Arizona deserves an MLS team. And I worked my butt off, man. And I got wonderful relationships. Just like Mr. Tinoco, mi compa Tinoco dice, I really cared about the relationships. I really cared about building those friendships. And I always try to be genuine. I was never trying to build a relationship just to get a ticket sale. I mean, I think that most of the times that somebody bought a ticket was because they liked me, and because they saw
because the team was terrible. Let's just put it that way.
Dude, the entertainment value wasn't quite where we see it now, right? And now it's a hot ticket item, dude. Everybody's talking about it. Even right now that we don't have live games where there's the fans, people are tuning in and watching it, and just can't wait for it to open up again. So tell me, how does it feel seeing it where it is now? I know that you are now doing other projects and you moved into other ventures, but how do you feel like seeing that evolution, man? Do you feel like you feel like you've been a big part of that? Do you take the pride saying, "Yep, I'm really glad to see where they're at"?
I think I really take a bit of pride, but I also take a lot of I also have to take a lot of humbleness out of it, because I have to recognize that many people were involved. Many people really wanted it to happen, and I think anybody that was involved from putting the soccer balls together, painting the field, cutting the grass, coming in, buying a ticket, coming to La Porra and buying season tickets, sponsors, owners, sacrificing their well living or their financials to try to make this dream happen. I think I have to recognize that whatever I did it out of my heart and out of to help the project. But I think others did either more work, and I have to recognize that. So I'm humble, but at the same time, I do have to give myself some props because I wanted it to happen Monday to Friday, Saturdays. I never stopped, and um, that sacrifice had led to a lot of other things.
Yeah,
So, and
definitely.
those are some of the things that I want to talk to you guys about.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. And again, you're humbled, but pat on the back, man, because you
Yeah.
really did.
You
You
were
really
Totally.
did a lot. Yeah, you
Yeah,
can
man.
talk
We got
anybody
to
who's
give
starting
credit
a
when
business.
credit's due, man. We got to give credit when credit's due, and
Yep.
what we've seen. But
Yep.
we've been talking about your journey up to this point. But let's talk about your current venture right now, man. What are you working on? And we really just want to talk about your journey up to this point. But what is it that you're doing now? What are you working on,
Yep.
and what do you do?
And let's talk about your nomination. Well, that's kind
Yes,
of
And
that's gonna
cool.
lead right into that, man.
we'll get to that. And going back to what you guys were saying, right? Being involved there, being involved with the professional soccer team and just the community as a whole, and growing in this community as a professional, just a business person, made me realize that there's just so much need. There's just so much need. There's so much kids that need help, mentoring, inspiration. Just because we have a very abundant life here in Arizona and many opportunity does not mean that there's not many things, that there isn't much to do. So being on this journey, I started understanding that, and being tied into a project as big as a professional soccer team does not give you a lot of time to really focus on community. Because you have to pay for the lights, right? The lights and making sure that we still have a soccer team next year is the priority. But I started taking some of my personal time and doing stuff with Salvation Army, with the Boys and Girls Clubs, with the Boy Scouts, and just utilizing the game to inspire these kids. And I started to love to be involved with Special Olympics of Arizona, with the American Cancer Society, with Pass It On, with YMCA's of Arizona. I started getting into a non-for-profit world that many people in the professional sports told me, "You're losing your time. You're wasting your time. Don't go into non-profit because there's no money there." But I wasn't thinking about money. I was thinking about making an impact, and I think um, that always gave me fulfillment. I could get paid for my job, but whenever I saw the kids happy, or we could give a soccer ball or a free soccer clinic, or take a player to a school, that always left me with a great feeling coming back home. And so I started focusing a lot into the non-for-profit world. I got involved with Fuerza Local First as well, and just sharing my marketing and sales expertise and business expertise to mom and pop businesses that might not have the chance to go to college or high school, but they have a business now because muchos de nuestros paisanos, they don't have a social security number, and you have to be a business owner in order to make it work. You can get a tax ID number, and you can start selling stuff. I mean, we used to do it in Mexico, selling newspaper, chicles, dulces. We have to provide for our family, and so muchos de nuestros paisanos end up having businesses, and I wanted to help with that too.
That's
So I
awesome.
started serving that in the entrepreneurship business, local business side of things, in the sports marketing, helping people through sports, and then helping people through community outreach. And I was lucky enough that two people from a big organization here in Arizona called the Thunderbirds were watching for 5 years, and they put me as a candidate for this program. I, I, that was awesome. I was honored by it. I didn't really think much of it, and now we're in the finals. They called me and they said, "Hey, out of all these people that get nominated from Arizona, we want to take you to the finals, and so we're gonna be doing a voting process in the month of August." and we want to see how much the community is there to support you. And so I started making calls. I started getting back to people that have helped me so much, and just saying thanks to them and asking them to be part of this. And this is where we are. We are on a national campaign.
So I'm gonna pull up the Facebook
folks.
page really quick.
Yeah.
So this is it right here, right?
Yes.
Through CoorsLightLeaders.com. Professional, I know, leaning against the wall, acá con todo el, yeah, look at that, dude. He looks professional, but he looks casual también with the tennis shoes. Mira.
Así como el mullet, ¿no? Party on the front. No, ¿cómo es? Professional on the front and party on the back. Exacto. Así, exacto.
It's cool, man. So this is where we're at. Estamos ahorita, huh? It's time. Yeah. It's time for people that want to support a local leader, man. Someone who's doing stuff in the community, and just what you said already. I mean, I think that not even half of what you said people have been involved in and stuff like that. So just the fact that you've done all those things with not just one charity, with several organizations, and you have a heart to help the community, man. I mean, dude, if you're not voting 10 times a day to help Heber, man, what's wrong with us? Come on, let's help him out.
Yeah,
it's just a good way, dude.
And the one thing that's amazing about it is the fact that there's like no money in it. Like, I mean, everything that you've done in the past, like, fundraisers, clinics, there's no kickback. There's no, hey, I'm doing this because no.
Well, this for that, right? Yeah.
He's passing it forward, and I think that speaks volumes. And so who's putting on this the contest, Heber?
Well, I think is it Coors Light or who is it?
Yeah. So Coors Light makes a how do we say that? A subsidy of $25,000. And what they do is they put this money and they recognize Latinos across the United States that are doing great things. If you guys have a chance to go to the webpage and see those candidates, I will advise you look at them, but I will not advise that you vote for them. You gotta vote for them. But,
that's true.
But as you're talking, Heber, I'm gonna start voting now and let you guys know it's not that hard to vote, dude. All you gotta do, man, is what is it? Go to CoorsLightLeaders.com. That's it, right?
Yes, www.CoorsLightLeaders.com. Exacto.
Lideres.com. So it's as simple as vote now.
Yeah.
Gotta look for that hit.
Show how it's done.
Acá, mira, el de la telenovela, right here.
What's happening?
No, todavía no le pego a William Levy, pero I'm trying, man.
You gotta make sure you're not a robot. That's the only step, man. And that's it. That took me what, like 2 seconds?
Yep.
Exacto. Yeah, there you go. And that's one vote. You can vote 9 more times.
Well, you guys are talking. I'm gonna keep voting for Heber until it tells me I can't. So.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I know I've gone in there. I've tried to vote as much as I can, to be very, very honest with you. I don't usually get on Facebook a lot, but I've noticed myself on Facebook and trying to share the page and trying to vote. I'm on there. I'm like, oh, I got to vote again, and then I'll vote, and then I come back an hour later and do another vote, and just kind of like trying to share, because I think the important thing is, the sharing it and the recognition. Because I mean, I know there's a huge soccer community out there that knows you and that loves you, Heber, and you've done so much, and not just Phoenix Rising and Arizona United. Just, I mean, it's so much.
Thank you,
so
brother.
much. So, hopefully, I really, really hope that this message reaches them, because I guarantee you. Because I mean, a lot of times, we see contests and whatnot, and people are like, "Hey, vote for me." And people are like, "Okay, I'll vote," and just kind of like whatever. But the people that you've touched will make them want to vote, and I think that's really, really huge. Because again, there's times where people say, "Hey, can you share my page?" Yeah, I'll share it, and that's pretty much it, right? And so everyone's like, "Hey, can you vote for me?" Yeah, yes, because I know the hard work, I know everything that you've done. So let me take those extra 3 steps. And vote for you. You know what I mean? So I think that's great. And hats off to obviously all the nominees. Hopefully they lose and never win. I'm just
but they lose with grace.
Right?
Exacto.
So this is throughout the entire country, right, Heber?
Exacto. Sí. So out of the nominations here in Arizona, I was chosen, and it's the same for the others in their state. Local influentials will pay attention to this campaign, and they will make their submissions. um, the managing company of this Coors Light campaign will look at them, see how much influence they have in their local communities, what they have done, and based on that, and based on the value of what they're bringing to their communities, that's what they will pick them. So I'm one of the 12. Like I said, they're all great people. Some of them are working on getting scholarships to Latinos. Some others are working with the Cruz Roja and organizations that really do big things for community. And I'm just happy to be part of it. I'm honored to be part of it. And I acknowledge all of them. They're doing great things. But I think this union that we're seeing in Arizona as the local professionals or local Latino professionals, the local businesses, my soccer people, my non-for-profit people, and you know, this amazing unification that's happening is what Arizona needs right now. I think small businesses need this. I think local businesses need this. Latino businesses more than anybody. Nobody talks about how much our Latino businesses have been hit. You know, they just generalized, but I think we have taken the harder hit out of this pandemic, and so that motivates me, and I think that motivates all of those that are voting for me throughout the day.
Well,
Absolutely. And you know what's kind of unique, and now that you were touching about, everyone getting together. Um, I mean, you're on your end. I mean, you've got your network is so huge, right? You know so many people, and you're seeing it all come together. And it's very rare, to be honest with you, because a lot of times, being Mexican, I know my family was kind of like, just don't bother me. I'm just gonna stay indoors.
Yeah,
I just want to go about my business, right?
yeah,
Don't bother
yeah,
me. And a lot of it is because of the immigration status, and it's
yeah,
unfortunate. But the fact that it doesn't, it with you, Ever, it doesn't just reflect on the Hispanic community. We're talking about everybody. I mean,
exactly, bro.
everybody. It's not because, I mean, when you have a soccer team, when you have a soccer team with the community, it's not exclusive to just African Americans or to Hispanics.
Yeah,
It's a soccer team. Everybody's involved, and the fact
exactly, bro.
that you have everybody, you have all walks of life coming through,
Thank you,
and
man.
and and you're helping them
yeah.
out and
You're
all that
touching
stuff.
a lot of different lives, man.
Yeah.
That's
Thank you,
amazing
man.
to see. And I want to challenge all the PVA members, right, and everybody that listens to us, man. Take the time, dude. Really support Ever. He's
Yeah.
not only a good-looking guy, right? We know. I mean, look at his name.
I way.
His
You, brother.
name,
Thank
dude.
you.
Heber Valenzuela. That sounds like you freaking. That's a leader's name right there, right?
Yep.
No, but he's proven
Thank you,
himself,
brother.
man.
Thank
He's
you,
put
brother.
in the work, and I wanted to say this to Ever. A lot of our members have kids, and they're also came here illegally. I came here illegally. I've
Yeah,
been living in the shadows all my life, kind of going what Coronel says. Kind of minding our own business, not trying to make
yeah,
a lot of noise to bring attention. But
yeah.
at the same time, dude, like you said, we have to pay it forward. And
Hmm.
I love
Exactly,
that
bro.
you're doing that. You're paying it forward, man. You're not, hey, I made it, great. You guys, vouch for yourself. You're like, dude, no, let me help you guys. I went through it.
Thank you, bro.
I can help you, and I'm gonna make a difference. So, dude, take the time of vote. I just did it. It already
Yeah.
done. It maxed me
Thank
out.
you,
They said
brother.
stop voting. Z, you did it too many times.
thank,
Yeah,
thank you,
and,
brother.
and
No,
for for a
yeah,
lot of the for a lot I don't mean to cut you off here, but for a lot of the PVA members who don't know, here in Arizona, he was very, very instrumental. We all love La Selección, right? That's kind of
yeah,
what
yeah,
we're
exacto,
all together, right?
Yeah.
But Ever was very, very instrumental in bringing La Sub-20 to play
exacto.
an exhibition match versus Arizona United. And
Uh-huh.
dude,
That
it's
was
like,
cool.
I mean, we're like it's literally that's what we live for. That's what we
Yeah.
want.
Yeah,
And Ever
Yeah.
was very, very instrumental in making that happen and bringing them smack into our backyard and just
Yeah.
giving us first access
thank you,
to
bro.
everything and just trying to really do it for the community. And a lot of people might not know, but that's what happened. But very, very,
Yeah,
very cool.
thank you, brother. No, and you mentioned something very, very important, bro. And I think soccer as a whole in the United States still has a lot to learn, and that has to be the appreciation for diversity, especially for our Latinos and Mexicanos, paisanos, everybody. I want to say everybody in the Latin Americas. I think that sometimes when it comes to soccer, we're not that appreciated as a fan, as players, as talent, as professionals. I mean, most of us experience racism every day. Most of us experience challenges just because of our color, because we're not seen to be the top guy. We're seen to be the guy that's supposed to be under and doing all the work. And so, those things happen everywhere. And for me, it was always work to prove and to show those colleagues and those that I was working on the professional at the professional level, to see how important it is to bring La Selección, how important it is to acknowledge our Latino and Hispanic community, how important it is to see talent that is Hispanic and Latino, how important it is to make you feel at home when you come to a soccer game. And so I was always an advocate for that. I was always, and I'm still an advocate for it. And I'll continue, as long as I'm involved in soccer, I will continue fighting for diversity, and especially for appreciation for our Hispanics, diversity in general. But you brought a perfect point, man. My career started with Chivas USA here in the United States at 2009. I did an internship with the academy. We were picking up players from Arizona and taking them to Los Angeles. And I met Dennis Teclose, who was brought by Chivas to improve, or to, I would say, to just make the system of Chivas the play stronger. And the Holland is the Netherlands style of soccer. And we everything we did with Chivas USA was based on that curriculum. So this guy has done amazing work for soccer internationally. So I met Dennis Teclose, and Dennis Teclose ends up being the Selecciones Menores de Mexico president, the director. Exacto. So once he gets involved with the young teams in la Selección Mayor también, he was the president for the Federación Mexicana. I gave him a call and I said, hey, you might remember him from Chivas USA. Let's do a friendly with the youth team. Let's do a friendly with kids. And he's like, yeah, send me a proposal. We put a proposal together, and he practically made it happen for us, because those things are almost impossible to be done in the United States, just because, number one, U.S. soccer is not always very open to it. And two, there's money involved. And but he put, we had players like Edson Alvarez in Peoria playing against Arizona United.
Yeah.
How amazing was that?
That was
awesome.
That is so cool, man.
And that's what I'm talking about. It's like, what? You made it happen. It's like,
yeah.
What's up?
I play a part on it. Yeah.
Well, I think the biggest part too is like a lot of people are just afraid to even ask, right? I mean, the fact that you just pick up the phone and say, "Hey, you may remember me. I was, part of US Chivas USA, whatever, dude." That right there, people just don't realize the power of just asking.
Yeah, that is true.
Just asking,
Yeah, and sometimes we think that because someone is big, they're not gonna pay attention. They're not gonna care. He's big, and whatever I'm asking for, it's probably too much. He doesn't know. You have to ask. If you don't ask, you don't get. So
yeah.
And PBA knows that, and so when we have the national team games, we have to ask if we can bring this or we can bring that. I mean, if we don't try, we don't get.
Absolutely.
It's a give and take también, right? It's like, hey, we ask, but we also have to deliver, right? We have to make sure that we follow the rules, we're respectful, and we, it's a give and take relationship. We can't just be taking all the time, right? We got to give and take. So
absolutely.
That's
so
cool.
Heber, what's the
language? Yeah.
So what's the next step now? We just wait for the results.
Well, when's the last day? The 31st. When's the last?
Yeah, the last day is the 31st. So they're not allowed to tell us exactly what position we're on and how many votes we're getting. All they can tell us is if we're on the top 5. And we've been doing just that. So, and what we're doing is working, I think, the small business community. That's my wife and the little one. And the small business community is getting all of their stores, all of their employees, all of their families casting these 10 votes every day. And so nice. I think that's really helping us a lot. People in the soccer community getting their families to vote their soccer teams. I was out at Liga con Daniel. I think you know him.
Oh,
I think
Danny.
you guys might know him, Daniel. Yeah, Danny, exactly. Yeah. I was at this league last night, and he's just encouraging everybody to vote for me. I have my family and friends from Durango, and some small businesses voting from Durango too. I have friends in Canada, and everybody's unifying. It's getting united for this. And I actually have some people that are doing great things in here in Arizona that are leaders, and they are either in politics or either in big companies, and they're jumping behind me and saying, "Hey, how can I help you?" So, and I think cool. Going back to your question, Coronel. What now, right? I think that this unity that is coming out of this campaign is going to open the doors for a lot of things that we can do. We're already talking about doing water and food drive for people, for homeless, for people that are out there living on the streets. And so, great things are coming out of this. And, just even doing this today is amazing.
That's totally cool. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, thank you for taking the time, man, to tell us about what you're working on. A lot of times we see, like as the Corona said, we just kind of see these things come up, but we giving us some context, dude, and letting us know the wonderful things that you got going on. So hey, I can speak for myself, but also the PVA family, dude. We got your back. We'll do everything we can to get you ahead and get you that title, man, so you can do some wonderful things with that.
Absolutely.
Thank you, man.
And
Thank you.
A special shout out to your lovely wife and your family. I mean,
Thank you, brother.
If you didn't have their support,
yeah,
none of this would.
That's true, man. You got to have a strong family base, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
The support that they give you, it's amazing. I would have left you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Lavo los trastes,
Then I saw your picture. Acá bien guapo. I was like,
and you're like.
No, but thank you, man. I appreciate you. And you mentioned something very important. The family is the drive. Family is the engine. Is that the motivation? Because you want to do what's best for your kids. You want to set an example. You want to tell them, I'm an immigrant. I spent so many years without papers, and now that I'm able to be in a better position, then it's my turn to do it for other people, especially people that come from a background like mine, and then everybody in general too. So I do it for them. I do it for their support, and they understand that. And but mainly, man, I do it just to give back. It's the most fulfilling thing that I have experienced in life, and I think this is what I was meant to do.
Cool, awesome, man. Love it,
dude. Coronel, thank you for setting this up, man. I appreciate you, having us connect with Heber, and we look forward. We can't wait for the results. Hey, to the 31st, get on there, guys. 10 votes a day. It wasn't that hard. It took me a few minutes.
So before we head out, guys, so what is the website again one more time so we can get our followers?
Yes.
If you want to.
www.CoorsLightLideres.com.
And for those of you who follow Via's podcast, Phoenix Battalion, even Via's Army's web pages, we're going to share that information. So all you got to do is jump on there and vote. Very, very simple. So be on the lookout for that. Everyone was super, super awesome catching up with you again. We go way back, and it's great to see you.
Yeah.
And again, thank you for everything you've done for us and for the community. And again, good luck, and we hope you win it. We know you're gonna win it. So we've got your back, like you said, and the entire Phoenix community, I feel, has got your back.
Yep.
Thank you, brother. And I gotta thank you too, because I know you guys are building community. You guys are building appreciation, and you guys have the Adelitas, and you guys do stuff for kids, and all the stuff that you guys do in the community. All that is out of the heart, and so I have to appreciate that. I have to appreciate you in including the love for Mexico, for our Mexican national team, which I think is there's a lot of pride on that. I will not miss a Selección Mexicana game.
Yep.
And I think a lot of us have that in our hearts, and so when you bring us all together with Pancho Villa's Army, I think that's amazing. And since I met you, Rich, I have much respect for you, man, and thank you for everything, because you're part of this. You always were there to share the word about what I was doing. You were there to do things with us in the community, and so you have impacted kids and you have impacted people in this town. So I appreciate you guys a lot for that.
Thank you for the word.
Man. No, but that appreciate. I know Cornel really appreciates that, and he's like a grandpa to us here at PVA.
Yeah,
he is. He's a grandpa, dude. I mean, when I was a chavalito, he was there for me también. I mean, I gotta thank you. He was a grandpa then también. But from Phoenix, Arizona, Heber, Coronel, Sargento, thank you once again from Villa's Army. Until next time, we'll see you guys in the next episode. Hasta luego.
Awesome, great.
Yo voy a cantar esta canción para mi gente.